Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at creating our flippers for our shut box. Take a look at our drawing. We are going to look at the flippers, starting with flipper number 1. You can see we're going to start with a rectangle that is 1 inch wide by 2.5 inches tall, and we're going to extrude it back a distance of 0.75. So let's begin with that. We're going to start with New, Standard IPT, and click Create. Pencil piece of paper in the upper left hand corner, 2D sketch. We're going to place our 2D sketch on our XY plane. Click Front to zoom all. Select my rectangle tool from the ribbon bar at the top, and I want to click my origin. Wait for your dot to turn to green. Click, stretch a rectangle up to the right hand quadrant. My horizontal dimension is going to be 1, so I'm going to type 1, press the tab key. My vertical dimension is 2.5. Type 2.5 and press the enter key. Next we're going to take green check mark, finish sketch. Click home, and I want to extrude. Remember, we always want to extrude direction number 2, and I want to extrude a distance of 0.75. So I typed in 0.75 and direction 2 is selected. Click OK. Our flipper looks good. Next, we're going to locate this hole, this feature on here. The hole is a diameter of 0.31, goes all the way through. It's located in from the front, 0.375, and 0.375 up from the bottom is the center of that hole. Let's place that feature on here. I'm going to take a 2D sketch, pencil piece of paper. I'm going to place that on the right hand side. And in order to make that hole, I'm going to use my point tool. Select point tool from the ribbon bar at the top, click to place your point. I'm going to next press the escape key to let go of my point tool and choose my dimension tool from the ribbon bar. I want a dimension from the front of the flipper, which is the left hand side, to the point. Bring that dimension down. This dimension is 0.375. Click the green check mark. Next, I want a dimension from the bottom of my flipper to the point. Bring this dimension out. This dimension here is also 0.375. Type 375 in the box. Green check mark. Next, we're going to finish sketch. Big green check mark in the upper right hand corner. And in order to make this hole, we're going to use our hole tool. Select your hole tool from the ribbon bar at the top. Now, if it does not pick up your hole, you want to click the point right here. We also want to change our termination. Sometimes this is on distance, so if this is on distance, we want to change it to through all. And then we have to enter in our diameter. Our diameter for that hole is 0.31. And then click OK. Excellent. Next, let's take a look at our drawing again. We're going to put a number 1 on this block. The text height is 0.75. We want to center it from right to left. We're going to emboss this to 0.1, and then we're going to click the properties, and we're going to change the feature appearance to blue wall paint glossy. Okay, go back to your part. I'm going to take a 2D sketch, place it on our front view. Click front to zoom all. I'm going to select my text tool from the ribbon bar. I'm going to place that on my flipper. Now my text height is going to be 0.75. Type that in right here. And in the main field down here, I'm going to type my number 1. Click OK. Press the escape key to let go of your text tool. And now I want to take my cursor and I want to move my text, my number 1, and center it right to left, and I'm using the little grid squares here. I'm about 2 3/4 from the right, 2 3/4 from the left, and I'm about 2 squares down from the top. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Green check mark, finish sketch. Next, we're going to take and emboss. We're going to click the emboss tool. First thing I want to do is select my number 1, my text. Next, I want to engrave from face, so I'm going to cut it away from the face. The depth is 0.1. That's good. I'll leave that there. And I'm going to click OK. Next, I want to change the inside color of this feature. So I'm going to go to my Emboss tool. I'm going to, on the left-hand side in the browser, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to go to Properties. Down towards the bottom of this Properties menu, I want to take where it says Feature Appearance, and I want to change it from As Body to Blue Wall Paint Glossy. Once I select Blue Wall Paint Glossy, click OK, and that changes that whole feature inside there to blue. Okay, let's go back to our drawing. Down at the bottom of our drawing, it specifies the material as yellow pine, and then we're going to save it as Flipper 1. Let's go back to our drawing. So I'm going to come up here to the top where it says Default at the top. Click to open that menu up, and I'm going to slide all the way down to yellow pine. That looks good. So next I'm going to go to orange capital letter I. I'm going to save as. I'm going to call this Flipper 1. And click Save. Okay. Looks good. Let's go back to our drawing. Next, we're going to do our flipper number 9. Once again, this is starting out with a rectangle that's 1 inch wide by 2.5 inches tall, and we're going to extrude it back 0.75 inches. So to do that, we're going to start with New from our ribbon bar at the top, Standard IPT, and click Create. Start with a 2D sketch. We're going to place that on our XY plane. Click Front in the Home World Cube. I'm going to begin with a rectangle tool. A rectangle tool, I'm going to start at my origin. Stretch a rectangle to the upper right hand quadrant. My horizontal dimension is 1, so I'm going to type 1 on the keyboard. Press the Tab key. My vertical dimension is 2.5, and then press Enter on the keyboard. Next, we're going to finish sketch. I'm going to go home, and I want to extrude. I want to extrude direction number 2. Select this button here. And I want to extrude a distance of 0.75. Type 0.75, direction 2, select OK. Go back to our drawing. This one also has a hole from the right hand side. It's a diameter of 0.31 going all the way through the piece. From the front of the block, it's 0.375 in, and from the bottom of the block up, it's 0.375 to locate the center of this hole. Let's go back to our flipper number 9. So I'm going to take a 2D sketch, place this on my right side view. I'm going to get my point tool from the ribbon and bar at the top right here. Select your point tool. Click to place a point. Press Escape to let go of your point tool. Now I want to dimension the location of that point. So I'm going to click my dimension tool. I want to dimension from the front of my block, which is the left hand side, to the point. Bring this dimension down. This dimension is 0.375. Green check mark. I also want a dimension from the bottom of my flipper to the point. Bring this dimension out. This dimension is 0.375. Green check mark. We're going to green check mark finish sketch. And then I'm going to use my hole tool from the ribbon bar at the top. Click your hole tool. Now once again, if it does not automatically select that point, you may have to click the point that was here that we dimensioned. We're going to change our termination from distance. We want to change it to through all. So this termination distance should say through all. And we're going to change our diameter to 0.31. And then click OK. Now we have our hole drilled. Next on our drawing, we're going to put our number 9 on here as well. Once again, this is 0.75 inches tall for a letter. Center it right to left. Then we're going to right click, emboss. We're going to emboss it to 0.1. And then right click Properties, and we're going to change the feature appearance to Blue Glossy Wall Paint. Okay, let's start with that feature. So I'm going to take a 2D sketch, place it on my front view. I'm going to take my text tool. I'm going to click. And first thing I'm going to do is change my text type. I want this to be 0.75. Then I'm going to type in the field the number that I want, number 9. Click OK. Press the escape key to let go of your text tool. And now I'm going to use my cursor to drag my number 9 onto the block. And I'm going to be about 2 squares down from the top and then center it from right to left. Okay, that position looks good. I'm going to finish sketch. Now I'm going to use my emboss tool once again. Click emboss. I want to select my number 9 and I want to engrave from face, which is the second button right here. Click engrave. The depth is going to remain at 0.1 and select OK. Next, on the left hand side in the browser, we're going to go to our emboss number 1. We're going to right click and we're going to go to properties. We're going to change the feature appearance from as body to blue wall paint glossy and select OK. That whole feature inside is blue. Next, referencing our drawing again, our material is yellow pine, and then we're going to save it as Flipper 9. So I'm going to go up to the top where it says default. Click on that. I'm going to slide all the way down to the bottom, and I want to find yellow pine. And then I'm going to go to the orange capital letter I in the upper left hand corner. Click, and we're going to save as. Make sure we're saving to your first initial last name 000, and we're going to save this as Flipper 9 and click save. Once you have that Flipper 1 and Flipper 9 saved, you are going to take on your own and create Flippers 2 through 8. You're going to use the same dimensions and emboss feature. Remember that you're saving it to your H drive. Also remember that you're changing the feature appearance to blue glossy wall paint for the numbers. You're going to right click on your emboss and you're going to change it to blue wall paint glossy. Congratulations on creating Flippers 1 through 9. When you are finished with the 2 through 8, you are finished with your flippers and ready to begin your assembly.